Coming up live at 2:30, breaking news out of Troy. A search warrant is being conducted on 4th Street. This comes just days after a bar shooting down the road over the weekend. What we know.
Plus, Hurricane Helene is continuing to destroy everything in her path. What new details have come forward?
And the Siena Research Institute has released a new poll ahead of the presidential election. Who is currently taking the lead in the important swing states?
And Siena College is holding a research symposium. What that will look like. SCTV live at 2:30 begins right now.
Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Lemery.
And I'm Amber Fisher. We begin this afternoon with breaking news out of Troy. Police say that they're executing a search warrant.
This is happening on 4th Street near Harrison Street. We're told this is in connection to an ongoing drug and weapons investigation. There will be a police presence in the area. This comes just days after gunshots were reported outside El Dorado Bar on 4th Street.
This happened around 3 a.m. on Saturday. Police say that these gunshots resulted in the bar's bouncer being critically injured. He remains at the hospital where he is being treated. Police speculate that the bouncer had asked the suspect to leave when the bar altercation occurred. We're told that the suspect ran and has not yet been found. Troy police ask if anyone has information to please contact them at the number on your screen. And Hurricane Helene is making her way up the coast, most recently hitting West Virginia.
The death toll is now over 150, and crews are actively searching the devastating areas for survivors. President Biden spoke on Tuesday on how his administration is working to help.
My top priority is to ensure the communities devastated by this hurricane get the help and support they need as quickly as possible. As quickly as possible. As we watch the storm from the Gulf region form, I also directed FEMA to redeploy a substantial number of assets and resources to ensure we're ready to deal with what we expected and to support all the folks in need.
Upstate National Grid is doing their part, sending more than 150 specialists to West Virginia to help provide much-needed assistance. Just 1 week after Siena released their annual crime statistics, the University of Albany released their crime stats for 2023.
That's right, and here's what Siena reported. 7 rapes, 4 acts of dating violence, 1 burglary, and 0 hate crimes. The University of Albany reported 8 rapes, 25 acts of dating violence, 7 burglaries, and 1 hate crime. Both campuses keep a close relationship with local law enforcement and provide supportive measures and off-campus resources for their students. And yesterday, Mexico swore in the nation's first female president.
In her inauguration speech, she stated that now is the time of transformation. Now is the time of women. Claudia Sheinbaum is former climate scientist and former mayor of Mexico City. She took on the 6-year term with pride and support from citizens who were chanting, "Long live Mexico." After being publicly disgraced, New York City Mayor Eric Adams is refusing to resign after bribery allegations.
Yes, and he is currently federally charged with wire fraud, bribery, and receiving campaign funds from foreign nationals. Adams says he is not backing down.
So you hear the small number of loud people saying, well, he should step down. No, I'm going to step up. I'm going to step up. I'm going to show them that during the most darkest moments, that is not a burial, it's a planting. And let God do his work. I'm going to do my work. I'm going to lead this city in a direction that this city is supposed to go into.
And Adams pleaded not guilty to federal charges last week. Prosecutors have accused him of using his power and influence to obtain free trips, luxury hotel stays, and questionable campaign donations from foreign countries.
The presidential election is a little over a month away. A new poll from the Siena College Research Institute is showing Harris leading in key battleground states, holding a slim lead in Michigan and Wisconsin by just a few points. Trump is taking the lead in Ohio. Be sure you are registered to vote and tune in November 5th at 10 p.m. for SCTV's live broadcast, where we will give you all the updates and information on that historic night.
And the Siena College Political Science and International Relations Department held a watch party for the vice presidential debate last night. The event was held on the 3rd floor of Siena Hall, and students were provided with pizza and snacks. Students from both political parties were welcome to come and watch history unfold. And American historian Alan Lichtman has correctly predicted 9 out of the 10 past presidential elections.
Alan Lichtman uses 13 keys to predict who will win the race for the White House, ranging from social unrest to major policy change to charisma. Here is his predictions for November.
With Biden stepping down, they lose the incumbency key. But the Democrats finally got smart and united around Kamala Harris, and that means they preserve the contest key. So they've only lost one key, which still puts the Democrats in a good position for re-election. A lot would have to go wrong for them to lose, which I've been saying for months, and none of these campaign events change that whatsoever.
Lichtman has predicted every presidential race since Ronald Reagan, with his only incorrect prediction being Al Gore in 2000. The annual Colony Cup was last Friday.
Crosstown rivals South Colony and Shaker High met on the football field to figure out which side of the town the trophy gets to. Winning 55-0, the trophy stayed in North Colony for the 14th consecutive year.
Lebanese terrorist group Hezbollah's leader was killed by an Israeli airstrike in Beirut on Saturday.
And this marks a new turn in the Middle East. This comes days after Israel began striking Lebanon and almost a year after the start of the conflict against Palestine, which has resulted in the deaths of over 40,000 Palestinians and 1,000 Israelis. And the death toll in Nepal has increased after a landslide over the weekend.
The majority of deaths were in Kathmandu, the nation's capital, the number reaching over 200. The Home Minister has declared monetary assistance and temporary homes will be set up for victims of this horrific disaster. The Himalayan nation's monsoon season should be ending within a few weeks. New York Representative Paul Tonko is doing his part in helping those affected by Alzheimer's.
1 in 3 American seniors have died with Alzheimer's or another form of dementia, and studies show that these diseases have cost the American people an estimated $345 billion in 2023 alone. 3 key Alzheimer's bills have passed in the House due to Tonko's and others' actions. Tonko is continuing to work to help support the millions battling this disease.
Siena students are now eligible to receive free at-home COVID tests.
Yup, 4 tests are permitted per student. Orders will begin shipping the week of September 30th. If students have questions about the shelf life of their test or about any other information, they should refer to covidtest.gov. Professor Patrick Maxwell led a biology seminar about the relationship between aging and mobile DNA elements.
Dr. Maxwell came to speak about his research findings with cellular aging and lifespans. He is the assistant professor of biology here at Siena, and his seminar focused on the study of yeast cells. He encourages students to use these findings in their future research.
So they can learn about practical applications of the research topic by talking about other work in the literature that relates to the research that I do. And then they can also see if it seems exciting to do stuff.
If you missed Dr. Maxwell's seminar, don't worry. The next seminar features a professional from Skidmore College on October 4th.
And today, we're taking the time to talk to one of the most beloved friars on campus.
SCTV's Emily Keegan sat down with Father Kevin Muller to learn more about his campus role.
Last week, I was able to sit down with Father Kevin Muller to understand just how special the Siena community has been throughout his life and how it continues to be a pillar in his religious obligations. Previously the 10th president of the college, Father Kevin is now the guardian of the friary and on the board of trustees at Siena. His responsibilities include coordinating and directing activities among the 18 friars living on campus. Father Kevin reflects on his past achievements that his Siena education has offered, from his time as a student to then teaching in the classroom.
I used to teach Catholic social thought, medical ethics, and then I would do special seminars. I even taught when I was the president, because I thought it was important to stay in touch with the classroom and to get to know some students in that way.
Although Father Kevin is counting down the days until he can get back into the classroom, he recalls how students and friars are still able to celebrate the Catholic tradition as a community at the chapel and grotto on campus.
The grotto is perhaps one of the best additions this campus ever developed. And it came out of an idea of several graduates that had particular devotion both to the Blessed Mother and to seeing that this would really work at Siena.
Father Kevin is excited for the new school year. He recalls in his 40 years at Siena, he has seen how the faces change, but the spirit always stays the same. Reporting for SCTV, I'm Emily Keegan. Back to you.
Next week, Siena College will host a 2-day symposium about the problems regarding climate change and what possible solutions are available. Featuring options to attend virtually or in person, this symposium will be a valuable and important experience for students of all fields. Mike Zabrowski will get the details in an interview with Siena's own brother Jacek and President of Student Senate Emily Atasi after the break.
Welcome back. I'm Mike Zabrowski, and next week Siena College is hosting a climate change symposium on October 10th and 11th, opening up important discussions about the environment. Here with the details are brother Jacek and Emily Atasi. Now, can you guys briefly explain your role in planning and organizing the symposium and what your role in that will be when it actually takes place?
Okay. I am Associate Director of Laudato Si Center for Integral Ecology at Siena College.
And I'm Emily Tassi. I'm president of the Student Senate here at Siena, and I've been kind of on the committee with organizing and almost moderating as a student.
Great, thank you. And you mentioned the Laudato Center. Can you just briefly explain what that is?
Well, Laudato Si Center draws its inspiration from the Pope Francis's groundbreaking encyclical, Laudato Si, on care for common home. And within the center here, we are working with faculty members, student groups, broader community on responding to the challenges of environmental crisis, climate crisis, social crises, spiritual crises, and engaging everyone in being part of the solution. And the upcoming symposium, Earth's Cry, Humanity's Call, has as its goal that broader engagement.
Yeah, that leads right into my next question. So, just what can guests expect from the symposium? What is the main goal of this?
To inform the mind, touch the heart, and empower to action, individual action and collective action.
Yeah.
I'd say the goals of the symposium are to teach the students again about the foundations of our college. This is not about anything political, but this is stuff that St. Francis stood for and stuff that our college stands for as well.
That's great. And now, students of all fields can enjoy this, yes. What incentives are there for students that may not be in the field of environmental science to attend this event?
Well, I would say opportunity to learn about how this the climate crisis that we face is a challenge, but also opportunity, and to understand those changes and to be prepared. Again, we are organizing it in coordination with those who are involved in environmental science, but also the School of Business. We need everybody on board.
Yeah, and now students will be able to attend this both virtually and in person. Could you guys just tell me a little bit about where the virtual component is and then where the actual in-person symposium will be held?
Yes, so everything is being held at MAC, and we hope that the students will participate here in person. We're going to have some people from other parts of the country, abroad, so they will be joining us from places as far back as Australia and kind of Africa, different parts, to listen to what UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who is the keynote speaker, which is phenomenal, and he will be addressing Siena community. Isn't that incredible, no?
Yes, we'll have different sessions throughout the 2 days, so if you have class, there probably will be a session that you can attend, and I'll be moderating one on Friday at 2:45 in the MAC.
So the students don't have to register, but go to our website, and we'll be continue to promote the event, learn about the event, and then those who participate will take part in a sweepstake, and we have number of things that they can win, some wardrobe, and there's some other special prizes to be announced. So.
All right. And that's just about all the time we have, but thank you guys for coming in and talking about this event. It's sure to be a success for Siena.
Thank you.
Now, if you want to watch this full interview after the show, you'll be able to find it on the Siena College Communications page YouTube channel. You can also find the interview on the SCTV Instagram page at sienacollege.tv. Make sure to follow and subscribe while you're there. On the way, karaoke takes over Casey's. We'll take you inside one of the college's most beloved events after the break.
Siena's International Students Association hosted an apple picking event this weekend. Students gathered at Indian Ladder Farms in Altamont to take part in this fall-themed activity. The apple cider and donut stand was a big hit. The event lasted from 1 to 3 p.m. For those who hope to get involved with ISA, they hold events over the course of the academic year.
And October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. According to the CDC, 1 in 4 women and 1 in 7 men will be affected by domestic violence in their lifetimes. Albany police are attempting to fix this statistic through their annual 5K. This year, they are celebrating a decade of this fundraiser.
Siena held one of their most popular events on campus this week, karaoke night. Students gathered inside Casey's with friends to listen to their fellow Saints show off their talent. A wide variety of songs were performed over the course of the 2-hour event, and students were supportive of everyone that stepped on the stage.
I love to sing. I love taking any opportunity that I can to perform. I'm just a singer. Wouldn't mind seeing karaoke nights appear a little more often.
If you missed out on this widely popular event, don't worry. Siena will hold another one in the spring. Still to come on SCTV Live at 2:30, Tommy Kane and Ethan Smith take us to the Dog Pound.
Coming up in sports, a battle of SEC powerhouses. Was Alabama-Georgia the game of the year?
Plus, a young gun looking for a second chance faced off against one of the oldest quarterbacks in the game on Sunday. Highlights and scores on the way when SCTV returns. Welcome to the Dog Pound. I'm Ethan Smith.
And I'm Tommy Kane. As a kid, every young athlete dreams of making that game-winning play for their team. At 17 years old, Alabama wide receiver Ryan Williams is living every kid's dream and taking college football by storm. Number 2 Georgia came into Tuscaloosa to take on number 4 Alabama Saturday night. To the fourth quarter, Carson Beck drops back, hits a deep ball here to Dylan Bell, shakes the first tackle, and he is in for the deep touchdown. Georgia would take a 1-point lead with 2.5 minutes to play. Enter 17-year-old Ryan Williams. On Alabama's first play of the drive, Jalen Milrose looks deep down the sideline for Ryan Williams, who makes a 360 toe tap catch, hits a spin move causing both Georgia defenders to collide, and he is gone. One play, 75 yards, touchdown. With a major interception to top it off, Alabama would survive in legendary fashion, 41-34. Bad news for NFL fans, though, as Ryan Williams will not be draft eligible until 2027. Fans will just have to enjoy the countless highlights to come from Williams over the next 3 seasons.
The Steelers and the Colts faced off this Sunday at Lucas Oil Stadium, both teams in very different situations entering the contest. New Steelers quarterback Justin Fields looked to continue his strong start and pilot the black and gold to their first 4-0 start since 2020. First drive, and it's the home team who gets on the board first with a Jonathan Taylor rushing touchdown in the red zone. Later in the quarter, and it's Joe Flacco relieving an injured Anthony Richardson, tossing a touchdown to go up 14-0. The score will be 17-3 going into half. The second half kicks off, and down but not out, not 1 touchdown or 2 touchdowns, but 3 touchdowns from Justin Fields gets the Steelers back in it. And with just over 2 minutes left, the Steelers find themselves with the football down 24-27 until disaster from the offensive line. Rookie Zach Frazier snaps the ball early, leading to a loss of 12. A fourth down stop later, and the Colts hold on, handing the Steelers their first loss of the season and advancing to 2-2.
More football action from this weekend as the Washington Commanders moved to 3-1 and first place in the NFC East. After dominating the Arizona Cardinals 42-14 Sunday, Commanders QB Jaden Daniels makes history as well, with the highest completion percentage through 4 games in any NFL season.
The Jets fell to the Broncos by a score of 9-10. Poor weather conditions played a factor throughout the contest. New York would end up losing to Denver off a missed 50-yard field goal. Both teams now stand at 2-2.
And the Ravens proved why they're one of the best teams in the AFC Sunday after they took down the undefeated Buffalo Bills 35-10. Buffalo had no answers for running back Derrick Henry, who finished with 199 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And the Detroit Lions finally starting to get on a roll here, finding themselves at 3-1 after a dominating passing performance by Jared Goff versus Seattle. Goff went 18 of 18 for 292 yards and 2 touchdowns. The Detroit Lions would finish the night up 42-29. And that'll do it for our sports update. I'm Ethan Smith.
And I'm Tommy Kane. Amber, Joe, back to you.
Still to come, a little hippo and a baby penguin unaware of how much the world adores them. And there are 2 animals taking the internet by storm. The baby pygmy hippo named Moodang, who lives at a zoo in Thailand, and Pesto, the king penguin, in an Australian zoo. We here at SCTV are curious. Which animals captured your heart and taken over your For You page? Head over to SienaCollege.tv on Instagram to vote on our poll. Isn't Moodang just the cutest?
I don't know, I'm personally partial to Pesto myself.
Ah, Pesto the penguin, he has stolen my heart.
They're both adorable in my opinion. Now I want to go see a zoo, you know? Like, this is really exciting.
Yeah, it's really great. There's a lot going on, a lot of things happening, but it's great for people to have a distraction.
And thank you so much for joining us here on SCTV. Have a great night.